Hello, good evening and welcome to the Little Farmer's Farm with me, Guru Mafinda. Now for the last 6 weeks, up until 2 days ago, we had nothing but sunshine and hot weather. In the last 2 days, that's changed. Now as you all know, plants need water, especially vegetable crops. And they've had an abundance over the last couple of days because it really has been a decent amount of water that's been put down by God himself. And we've had bang abundance, but we've also had a chronic amount of weeds action. Weeds. Weeds. You guessed it. Weeds. And they're everywhere, so I'm going to be spending all day today weeding, but not just weeding. I'm going to try and get my leeks in as well. I've got the leeks on the go and I'm going to put those into this bed, this sort of Victorian Edwardian bed setup that we created up at the top there. But the main thing is the weeding, because it's a shambles, the weeding and the tidying. I keep threatening to do it and I keep trying to do it, but it's going to have to be a full day of weeding. The time now is 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to be finished about 8 o'clock at night. But I am determined to get rid of these weeds. And to make the place look pretty. So let's crack on with that, boys and girls, and I'll see you in about 10 hours. Bye-bye now. I think we better make it a weekend rather than a day, because that's just took me an hour and a half to clear all the bricks. There's loads of bricks up there, and there's tons of glass in there. I think they dismantled the greenhouse and smashed all the glass into the soil. There's tons of it, and loads of bricks. There's about half a ton of bricks that has been shifted. Anyway, I've sort of levelled it all off now. But yeah, it's not been touched since we got the plot. That's the lady farmer's side. This side's got to be done next. And also this bed. In fact, I'll do the beds, I think, first, and then move on to that. So I've finished off this section, this top garden section, with all the potatoes in buckets. The onions have been completely crowded out there. That's what happens when you don't put weed membrane underneath, which we didn't on that one, but we did on this one. So we've just got the top surface weeds coming through on this. But on that one, there are a plethora, a cornucopia of weeds on that bed. I'll do that one next, actually. Okay. Now that's another hour and a half hand weeding them, picking them out individually, is what I've been doing. I've just prepared that bed as well by raking and hoeing. And as you can see, there's very few weeds left behind in there. Now that's going to be for the leeks. So we're going to be showing you the leeks in a short while. But I've got to clear all that out as well now. As I say, we're already an hour and 3 hours into the day now. It's coming up for 11 o'clock. Oh, Lord help me. That's going to take some clearing as well. Let's crack on. Right, now I'm not quite finished there, but I need to do a tip run, and that's why. Look at all this. Kale she, Kale shaw, Kale she, Kale shaw. I doubt that'll all fit in the car. Anyway, we'll try. Okay, so behind that compost corral, there are 3 stagnant water barrels. Now, I need 2 of them to be chopped down to be used on Tiki Tunnel 2, but at the moment, they're fit for use and ornament, and they're in the way. I'm going to clear that area out so that we can get round and we can cut those hedges back when we get the trimmers. But I just need to clear them. Now, this would be funny if I filmed it, so I'm not going to film it. And I'm just going to tip those out, but I'll have to pull it towards me. So there's a good chance I'm going to get doused in stagnant water, but we'll see how we go. That's gone down. That was about 8 inches deep in water about 10 minutes ago. But I pulled them all out. I pulled all these water tanks out, these water tubs. Not sure how many litres they are, a couple of 100 litres a piece, I would think. And it's all drained down into here, which has gone inside the greenhouse as well, so I'll not need to worry too much about water in the beds in there. I'll take a look in a minute. But I'm going to clear all this out, get it as level as I can, and then get the weed membrane all on top of this, and try and keep it clear as best as I can. But yeah, there's still plenty of weeding and shifting and tidying to do, boys and girls. It's amazing what you find when you're clearing out. I rediscovered these gutters. Mick threw them over a while ago, and I've just put one on there, onto Tiki Tunnel too. As you can see, there's a decline to the back. It drops off about 2 inches to the back, and therefore, hopefully, when the rain comes down, it'll go into the gutter and wash away that way into a cut down version of one of those. Now I've got 2 of them, as you can see, and we've got the fittings for them as well. Mick's left the fittings, the sort of brackets for them. Unfortunately, on this side, I haven't put in the timber underneath. There's another timber needs to go underneath there. Yeah, a sort of 1x4 or something like that. 1x6 needs to go along there, and I never put it in. I did on that side, but not on this side. So we're struggling a little bit there. I'll get that side on anyway, because I've got the plants on this side. I might well leave this as a gutter-free side, to be honest with you, because if I'm putting plants down there in buckets, the rainwater will come in and replenish the spud buckets, won't it, I suppose. Don't want to get it overlogged though, do we? Overclogged. But yeah, one of those is getting cut down, cut in half, and it's going to go around the back here, so where our tipple off point is, and it hangs out just enough, hangs out about 12 inches, and that'll drop directly, I would think, into the centre of that big tub. That's going to be moved up to the top next to its mate. In fact, I might well do that now. Well, I was going to cut one of those water tubs in half, but I've snapped my blade on my jigsaw, so that's not going to be happening. Another job for tomorrow, boys and girls. Just checking on our cucumbers. We're getting little cukes coming. Great stuff. That's what we like to see. Any more, I wonder? I wonder if there are any more in the lady farmer's side, because these seem to be doing nice in here, don't they? Oh yes, Tasty Kings these are called, and they're coming along, these Tasty Kings. Got my head in a load of bloody garlic there, look. Onions, sorry. Onions, garlic, massive bumblebee knocking about over there. You can hear them all tippy-tapping, all the bugs. That lettuce is going to be a tree shortly. I better take that. In fact, I'll take that tomorrow. We'll have it for dinner. Here, check these out in Bradley's cage. Hope we can make them out. They're monstrous. And they're all the same. If I can get a better picture. The kale, look at the kale. Everything's doing fantastic in here. In fact, the pak choy is doing too good. It's all bolting. But that's all going to be taken, that definitely tomorrow. I'm going to take the lot of that tomorrow, because we're going to have to make some Hulk soup with that. There's the kale. They're all the same sort of a size ahead on these broccoli. Or calabrese. Right. Monstrous. Monstrous behaviour, that. Brilliant, that. If I do say so. They're going to have to be taken though, because look, that's ready to bolt, that one. I better take that tomorrow. We'll take them, blanch them, and freeze them. But we'll definitely be having one fresh head with Sunday lunch or Sunday dinner tomorrow night. You Americans probably get confused with all this tea and dinner and what have you. But dinner is lunch up in the frozen north, and tea is what you would call dinner, I suppose. We'd have that about 6-ish, 6:30, something like that. Anyway, we're going to be having definitely broccoli with it tomorrow. Now, you knew I couldn't resist that. Can't get my head around it. It's bigger. It's as big as my head. That. Put it this side. It's as big as my head, if not bigger. That's a beauty. That's well worth the effort. Well worth all the weeding, guys. That. Fantastic. Whew. Ah. Can you believe it's 4 o'clock? Those tip runs are no joke, you know. You're queuing for ages. I keep switching my engine off and then waiting for the cars to pull away and then switch it back on again. Because I want to be eco-friendly. It is a recycling centre, and we've put all the wood in the recycling, and we put the metal in the recycling, and we put the hard plastic in the recycling. But yeah, sat in a queue for 45 minutes waiting to get on is no joke. I always bite off more than I can chew me. Joe tells me that every single time. And I have today as well. There's no way I'll be able to get all this weeding done today. It took about 2 hours, well, 2.5 hours to clear out that bloody top end there. Shrek's swamp. And it's still not 100%. What we got was underneath here, there was loads of root rhizomes from the hedge bindweed, and also we've got some creeping vine there, and we've got the stinging nettles as well that were all underneath. So it was an hell of a job taking it all out. 2.5 hours to clear this bit, but I tell you what, it's about 6 foot wide, this area up at the top. And yeah, once it's fully cleared out and flattened off, and I get the weed membrane on it tomorrow, that'll be fine. There's always tomorrow, guys, unless you're very unfortunate, and then there is no tomorrow. But there's usually a tomorrow. I've just spotted another nasty big weed here. This one, this great big monstrosity. So I'm going to go up to the top and tip it all off, all this weed, all the weed. Right, what do I need to do? What do I need to do now? There's something I need to do. Leaks! Let's get the leaks in before I fire off. So there are some leaks. I'm going to get some leeks into the ground. I was contemplating doing leeks and onions. In fact, I will do. I'll do onions and leeks because I'm a maverick. And so the first thing we need to do with these is prepare a planting hole for the leeks. So we'll do that now. Now, for my purposes, I don't need great big fat leeks. I don't particularly like them. But what I do like is ones that are about, I don't know, 1 inch in diameter. That's what I like, because we want them ready as well in a couple of months, so that they can be added into our leek and potato soup that we always love and like. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this fat cane and make holes in the soil, as you'll see in a minute. Not very good camera work, this, is it? I've just discovered something. This bed, or the soil within it, is not deep enough for my leeks. When you push it in, it hits the membrane, because a weed membraned it all, and it's only about 3 inches deep, which isn't deep enough for my leeks, that bed. It's deep enough for my onions though, so let's get them in Globo. Let's go Globo. Supposed to be big uns, these onions, when they grow to full fruition. But onions are not extremely deep rooted. if there's a shallow parcel of land, shall we call it, then the roots will just spread. They'll spread sideways rather than needing to go deep. They don't need a tap root, they just need the roots. So let's get the onions instead. Alright, let's keep it simple. You see these two fingers? You put these two fingers in the ground like that. Make an impression. Like that. And then, see there's a membrane underneath. I don't know if you can make that out, but it's there. Then you pop one of these in, like that, and you firm it around, like this. And part belly it up to its shoulder. Now this will be getting the water in shortly, but that's all we're going to be doing. Any bits of brown leaf that's on, hang on. Yeah, so just take away any bits of brown leaf that's on there. And he's in now. I'm going to put 1, 2, 3 more. So we've got 4. I've got, well, we'll see how many we've got when I plant them up here. 13th of the 1st, 21 Globo onions. And there are 18 of them. We did sow seeds for 24, so we've had 6 failures. As you can see from the cells there, 4 in that one and 2 in that one. But they've come to fruition. And those are seeds that should have been used up this year. So they needed to be planted this year. Anyway, let's get them watered in. Give him a good drink, Monty Don says, doesn't he? Monty Don. Give him a good drink. Been warm today. It has been raining the last couple of days, but we're not due any rain tonight. So, yeah, we'll just give him a good watering in. And hopefully we can keep that more weed-free than we did with that bed. That's not got a lining underneath it, but that one has. So I'm just going to have to keep more of an eye on that. Yeah. See how we get on. Might give these a bit of a drink as well. You know, these are falling over. And the bolting. Those red onions, those red Baron that we've got in there don't seem to be too clever at all. Because we've got the Stuttgarter. And they seem to be alright. They're not bolting. None of those are bolting. But the majority of the red Baron are either falling over drunk or they're sending their willies in the air. Look at that. Disappointing, isn't it? These Globo are okay though for the time being. These were done from seed, so there's less chance of them actually bolting. So we'll see how they get on. I'm going to do the tip run tomorrow morning because I promised the little boy, number 1 son, that I'll be back for 6 o'clock. And it's pushing on for 6 o'clock now. It's amazing. It really is amazing how time flies when you're down here and you're doing things down on the plots. I've got to put the hose pipe away and everything now, so, and lock up. So yeah, that'll be me, because it's 5:30. Okay. Catch you later on, boys and girls. Have a wonderful weekend. If you don't get too drunk, then you'll be down the plots. So make sure you don't get too drunk. Keep growing with your heads down. If I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window, as always. If you're a lady and you've been watching this, you've been beautiful, fragrant and poetic. If you're a gentleman, you've been forthright, masculine and virile. And if you've been something in between, you've been something in between. I'll catch you later, guys. Might be on tomorrow. If so, see you then. Ta-da!